Imagine waking up each morning after 60, believing that nothing new can truly change your life. What if I told you that the smallest actions you take in those first waking moments could shape not just your day, but the way you experience the years ahead? This is not about grand promises or miracle fixes. It's about overlooked, ordinary choices that quietly hold extraordinary power. The reality is, many of us slip into routines after 60, thinking that aging means slowing down, accepting decline, and waiting for life to pass gently. But that belief is one of the most dangerous myths of getting older. What you do each morning can either drain your vitality little by little or recharge you with an energy that carries throughout the day. Wisdom beyond 60, dear everyone. If you're listening right now, I want you to pause and truly reflect. Every sunrise gives us a decision. Do we follow the same path of habit that slowly weakens both body and spirit? Or do we dare to choose 5 simple actions that keep our minds clearer, our steps steadier, and our hearts lighter? This video will not just tell you what to do, it will reveal why these actions matter more than most people realize. And here is the part that should startle you. Most older adults unknowingly ignore these habits, and in doing so, they surrender their health, their confidence, and even their joy long before it is necessary. Think about that for a moment. The difference between feeling drained by noon and moving through the day with vitality often comes down to a handful of choices in the first hour after waking. Imagine standing at a crossroads every morning. One road leading to stiffness, fatigue, and low spirits, the other guiding you toward clarity, energy, and strength. Which road would you choose if you knew how simple the steps really are? That's the heart of what we're exploring today. I invite you to stay with me until the very end, because each of these 5 morning practices is like a small puzzle piece. Alone, it may seem ordinary, almost too simple to matter, but when you place them together, they create a picture of daily life that feels brighter, steadier, and more under your control. And this is what so many people after 60 are desperately searching for. Not a promise of living forever, but a way to live better right now. Before we dive in, let me ask for a small favor. If you find this message valuable, please take a moment to subscribe to Beyond 60 Wisdom. By doing so, you're not just supporting this channel, you're encouraging the creation of more content that brings clarity, encouragement, and strength to people just like you. Your support is what gives us the motivation to keep producing videos that matter. Now, here's something to think about while you listen. I want you to answer honestly and share your thoughts in the comments below. If you had to choose, which one matters more for a fulfilling life after 60? A. Protecting and strengthening your physical energy each day. B. Nurturing your emotional peace and sense of connection. Comment your answer, A or B, and tell us why. There's no right or wrong, but your choice may reveal what your heart values most right now. And as you reflect, stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you'll discover how just 5 small morning steps can shape both. When you rise in the morning after 60, your body has already been working through the night, repairing, rebalancing, and quietly sustaining you. Yet when the first light slips through the window, it's as if your system is still half asleep, waiting for your choice to either keep drifting or to awaken fully. This is why those first minutes matter so deeply, and why one of the most vital things you can do is to gently start the body moving and give it what it longs for after hours of rest. A simple glass of warm water is often overlooked, but think of it as the spark that wakes the inner engine. After a night of natural dehydration, your cells are thirsty, your circulation is sluggish, and your digestion is waiting to be nudged awake. That sip of warm water is like a soft knock on the door of every organ, telling it, it's time to begin. You don't need anything fancy, just water at the right temperature to ease your stomach and ready your body for the day's work. And once the body has been reminded it is alive, comes the second key, movement. At this stage of life, many assume that true exercise must be intense or demanding, but the truth is far gentler. What you need most is not to conquer miles or lift heavy weights, but to honor your body by keeping it flexible and flowing. 10 to 15 minutes of light stretching, slow walking, or even rolling your shoulders and turning your head can make an astonishing difference. Picture a machine that has been idle all night. If you try to run it suddenly at full speed, it resists, it creaks, it may even break. But if you ease it into motion, piece by piece, it warms up, it responds, and soon it hums. Your body is no different. The joints loosen, the blood begins to circulate, and stiffness slowly releases its grip. This is not about chasing youth or pretending to be 20 again. It's about preserving dignity, balance, and independence by treating the body with respect. Too many older adults ignore these moments, telling themselves that movement can wait or that water doesn't matter. But in truth, these small choices accumulate, silently shaping how strong you feel, how steady you walk, and even how confident you are when you step outside your door. Every morning is an invitation to choose life in motion rather than life in decline. There is also something quietly sacred about this ritual. The warmth of water sliding down, the slow stretch of muscles awakening, the rhythm of breath sinking with gentle steps. It is a reminder that you are still here, still capable, still blessed with another day to live. It's not dramatic, not glamorous, but it is deeply human. And perhaps that is what makes it powerful. These are not grand sacrifices or heavy burdens. They are whispers of self-care that grow louder when practiced daily. As you commit to these two small acts, hydrating with intention and moving with kindness, you begin to notice subtle changes. The mornings feel less heavy, your mind feels a bit clearer, and the stiffness that once made you dread getting out of bed begins to loosen its hold. These are not promises of miracles, but steady returns for steady effort. And that is the wisdom age has always taught us, that consistency matters more than extremes, and that gentleness often triumphs over force. So tomorrow, before you let the rush of the day take over, give yourself those first few minutes. Drink slowly, breathe deeply, move gently. Let your body know it is valued, and it will reward you with strength you didn't realize was still within reach. These are the choices that shape not only your health, but the way you carry yourself into each new day. And in that quiet power, there is freedom. There is a kind of nourishment that water and food alone cannot provide, and it is something that becomes even more essential as the years accumulate. I'm talking about the quiet feeding of the mind and the calming of the spirit. When you wake each morning, your body may begin to stir through movement and hydration, but the heart and mind still wait for their own kind of awakening. This is where the practice of breathing deeply, of pausing in stillness, can shift the entire direction of your day. It does not require a mountaintop or a meditation retreat. It can happen in your favorite chair, with your feet firmly on the floor, eyes gently closed, and attention turned inward. 3 minutes of slow, intentional breathing. Drawing air in, letting it fill the lungs, and releasing it with care, has the power to steady nerves, quiet racing thoughts, and soften the weight of worries that often linger at this stage of life. The beauty of these few minutes lies in their simplicity. The world will not pause for you, yet in that short practice, you create space where your mind and heart are no longer pulled in a dozen directions. Many people think of calm as something they must chase, but in truth, it is something you allow. When you breathe this way, your body sends a message to the nervous system. It is safe, it can relax, and it can release the tension carried overnight. Blood pressure settles, the shoulders ease, and a sense of clarity arrives. It's remarkable how something so basic, breath, becomes a form of medicine for the spirit when practiced with intention. But it doesn't have to stop there. Some mornings, after breathing, you may find comfort in opening a small book of wisdom, a page or two that stirs reflection rather than rush. Or perhaps you write down one line of gratitude, one thing, no matter how small, you are thankful for. These small acts are more than habits. They are rituals of meaning. They remind you that life, even in its later chapters, is still rich with purpose and with gifts waiting to be noticed. They teach you that the soul, like the body, needs its own exercise to remain strong. Consider how different a day feels when it begins in hurried distraction versus when it begins in mindful calm. The contrast is striking. Without this pause, it is easy to fall into a rhythm where the hours feel heavy and unmanageable. But when you start with stillness, the The same challenges seem lighter, the same tasks less overwhelming, and even ordinary routines are approached with more patience. This is not about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It is about giving yourself the strength and resilience to meet whatever comes with steadiness instead of strain. As people grow older, one of the most common fears is losing control over health, over circumstances, over time itself. Yet here is a place where control is entirely yours. No one can take it, and no one can give it but you. Choosing to breathe deeply, to sit quietly, to reflect with gratitude is choosing to claim your morning as your own. And by doing so, you plant seeds of peace that grow into the rest of the day. Think of it as tending to an inner garden. If you water it daily with calm and gratitude, it flourishes. If you neglect it, weeds of stress and anxiety creep in. The choice is subtle, but the consequences stretch far beyond the few minutes you invest. By honoring this part of your morning, you are not only calming the mind, you are shaping the atmosphere of your entire day, one breath at a time. Breakfast has often been called the most important meal of the day, and for those who have stepped into life beyond 60, that phrase takes on an even deeper meaning. After a night of fasting, your body wakes up waiting for fuel, not just to keep you moving, but to set the tone for your energy, focus, and stability throughout the hours ahead. The mistake many people make is either skipping this meal altogether or filling it with food that satisfies for the moment, but leaves the body heavy, tired, and unprepared for the day. At this stage of life, breakfast is not about indulgence. It is about nourishment that works with your body, not against it. Think of breakfast as the foundation of a house. If you build it carelessly, with weak materials, the rest of the structure will always feel unstable. But if you choose wisely, even the simplest foods can form a base that carries you steadily from morning to evening. A bowl of oats or whole grains can provide slow, steady energy. A piece of fruit like a handful of berries or a slice of apple delivers natural sweetness and valuable fiber. A boiled egg or a few spoonfuls of yogurt adds protein that keeps muscles strong and hunger under control. These foods may seem ordinary, but when combined, they form a breakfast that is balanced and supportive, giving your body exactly what it needs. What you avoid is just as important as what you choose. Fried foods, heavy meats, or overly salted dishes may feel satisfying for a moment, but often leave you sluggish, thirsty, or uncomfortable later in the day. Instead, opt for simplicity and lightness. Your digestion will thank you, your energy will be steadier, and your mornings will feel less weighed down. Preparing something small the night before can also make the routine easier. A jar of oats left in the refrigerator, fruit washed and ready, or bread chosen with care. These little acts of preparation make it more likely that you'll follow through in the morning, even on days when you wake up tired. It is not only the physical benefits that matter. The act of eating breakfast itself can be a ritual of presence. Sitting down with your plate, taking a few mindful bites, allowing yourself to taste, chew, and breathe. It creates a rhythm that slows the rush of the day. Instead of leaping into chaos, you begin with intention, reminding yourself that your health and well-being are priorities worth honoring. This is especially true when you share the table with someone else. A brief conversation, a moment of laughter, or even quiet companionship over tea can transform a simple meal into a source of connection and joy. Too often, older adults dismiss breakfast as unnecessary, assuming coffee alone is enough to carry them through. But the truth is that the body beyond 60 thrives not on caffeine and empty stomachs, but on gentle, steady nourishment. When you give your body the right start, you protect your strength, sharpen your clarity, and invite more calm into your day. It is not about perfection or elaborate recipes. It is about small, consistent choices that add up over time, choices that remind your body and your spirit that they are both worth caring for. So when the morning comes, do not overlook this moment. Feed yourself in a way that respects the years you have lived and the energy you still want to carry. Let breakfast be more than a meal. Let it be a quiet declaration that you are choosing to honor your health, your energy, and your presence in this world. Each bite is a way of saying, I am still here, and I will care for myself today. After you have cared for your body with water, movement, calm, and nourishment, there remains one more act that often carries even greater weight than all the rest. It is the simple, intentional act of connection. In the rush of life, many people underestimate how vital it is to reach out. Yet loneliness has been called one of the quietest burdens of growing older. It does not announce itself loudly. It shows up slowly in silence, in the absence of voices that once filled the home, in mornings where the phone does not ring. And while no meal or exercise can entirely replace the warmth of human closeness, you have the power to bring it back into your life, one small step at a time. Each morning, after tending to your own health, take a moment to send a message, make a call, or even step outside to greet a neighbor. These gestures may seem ordinary, almost trivial, but to the heart, they are fuel just as important as breakfast is to the body. A kind word exchanged, a familiar laugh shared, or even a simple good morning can shift your entire mood, reminding you that you are not walking this road alone. For someone else too, your words may be the light that eases their own loneliness. In giving connection, you receive it in return. At this stage of life, relationships change. Friends may have moved, family may be busy, and it can feel easier to withdraw than to reach out. But here is the truth. Isolation quietly weakens the spirit, while connection strengthens it. The act of calling a son or daughter, of writing a note to a grandchild, of checking in on a friend, these are not small things. They are lifelines, weaving together the fabric of belonging that holds us steady when the world feels uncertain. Even if the conversation lasts only a minute, the effect often lingers for hours, softening stress, lifting energy, and restoring a sense of purpose. Connection also carries a hidden gift. It reminds you of who you are. When you tell a story, share advice, or simply listen to someone else's day, you are reminded that your voice still matters, your presence still matters. That sense of being valued and needed is one of the strongest protectors of well-being in later life. It guards against the heaviness of solitude and keeps the mind engaged, the heart alive. Some mornings, the effort may feel unnecessary. You may think, they don't need to hear from me today, or I'll do it tomorrow. But the truth is, tomorrow is never guaranteed. Each day offers a choice: remain in silence or reach out with intention. And when you choose connection, you not only nourish yourself, you strengthen the bonds that will carry you in the days ahead. So let this be your final morning habit, as essential as stretching, as vital as eating well. Once you have filled your cup with care for body and mind, pour some of that care outward. Call someone, write to someone, meet someone. These small acts transform mornings into something more than routine. They transform them into moments of meaning. And in that meaning lies the strength to face whatever comes. Every sunrise gives you another chance to remind yourself and others, we are still here and we are still connected. That truth, spoken or unspoken, may be the most powerful gift you can give to yourself and to those you love. As we come to the end of this reflection, it's important to remember that the mornings of our later years are not simply about filling time, but about shaping life. Each of the 5 simple practices we have talked about, drinking warm water, moving your body gently, calming the mind with breath and stillness, nourishing yourself with a balanced breakfast, and reaching out to others, are not grand or difficult tasks. They are small, ordinary actions, yet they hold extraordinary meaning because of the consistency and care behind them. They are reminders that no matter your age, you still have choices every single day that determine how you feel, how you think, and how connected you remain to the world around you. The deeper truth is that age does not diminish our ability to live with intention. Instead, it magnifies the importance of those intentions. A young body can sometimes overlook the consequences of skipping care, but after 60, your body and mind respond clearly and quickly to the choices you make. A few minutes of movement eases stiffness. A mindful breath lowers the day's pressure. A call to a loved one lightens loneliness. When combined, these moments become more than habits. They become a philosophy of living, one where you honor yourself and those around you with presence and love. The lesson here is not about chasing years on a calendar, but about creating quality within the years you have. every sunrise is an invitation to participate fully in your own life, to remind yourself that you are not passive in the journey of aging, but an active author of how you experience it. By practicing these morning steps, you are telling your body, your mind, and your spirit that they are worthy of care. And when you treat yourself with that kind of respect, you naturally carry more peace, patience, and energy into everything else you do. So how can you apply this right now? Begin tomorrow with one change, not all 5 at once. Maybe it's the glass of warm water, maybe it's 3 minutes of steady breathing, or maybe it's dialing a number and hearing the voice of someone you miss. Build slowly. Allow these actions to become natural and notice how they ripple through the rest of your day. With time, these little steps weave into a pattern of strength, clarity, and joy. They will not erase every challenge, but they will give you a stronger foundation to stand on, no matter what comes your way. Now I'd like to hear from you. If you had to choose just one of these habits to begin with tomorrow morning, which would it be? Drinking warm water to awaken your body, or reaching out to a loved one to awaken your heart? Please share your answer in the comments below so that others in our community can learn from your perspective too. And before we close, let me ask for your support. If you found this video meaningful, if it gave you comfort, inspiration, or even one simple idea you can carry into your mornings, please subscribe to Beyond 60 Wisdom. Leave a comment with your thoughts, share this video with your friends so they too can benefit, and know that we read every response with gratitude. Your encouragement is what gives us the strength to keep creating heartfelt content for you. Thank you, truly, for spending this time with us. We are honored to walk alongside you in this season of life, and we look forward to bringing you many more conversations that matter.